Problem number 4. If your stove will not start, there are several things to check. 1. The first step is review of the Coleman's directions available on their website at www.coleman.com and all of our video series. Number 2. Check that the tank has fuel in it and it smells like gasoline and not varnish. If it smells like varnish, you must replace the fuel with fresh fuel. 3. Be sure that the tank has pressure. The fuel cap should emit a loud hiss during the process of removing it after you attempt to light it. See the pump trouble section for more tips. Step 4. Trade tanks with another unit if available to determine if the problem is with the stove or with the fuel tank. 5. Make sure that the stove is completely cool and then remove the fuel tank and take it to a safe location away from ignition sources and to a place where fuel can be spilled without much concern. Put the end of the generator rod into an empty container and turn the main control knob counterclockwise several turns until fuel squirts out the end of the fuel rod like a squirt gun, or the control knob is full counterclockwise. If fuel squirts out in a steady squirt gun size stream, the pressure is good and the valves are working and the passages in the delivery system are not blocked. This would lead you to suspect the quality of the Coleman fuel or a blockage in the stove's manifold or completely flooded stove. See the flooded stove section for more details. Step 6 would be to empty the fuel and replace it with fresh fuel. Step 7 is replace the stove's generator. Step 8, as a last resort, go to the Coleman website and determine the phone number for customer service. They can offer advice, parts, and repair locations. Step 9 is that at some point you may have to make friends with your camping neighbors or go visit town to look for some replacement parts or supplies. In a single stove environment, overpackers may wish to stock a replacement filler cap, replacement pump, and perhaps even a generator. However, these stoves can be used hundreds of times over many years and not need any of these. Problem number 5 is if you have no pressure in the fuel tank. If you cannot achieve pressure in your tank, you most likely do not fully understand how to use the pump, or the pump is broken. We will review the pumping instructions. Start with the fuel in the tank and the filler cap on and firmly clockwise and the tank installed on the stove. Turn the end of the pump handle clockwise. It should not move as it should have been left in the fully clockwise position, if not rotated clockwise until it stops. Then rotate the pump head counterclockwise, lefty-loosey 3 turns. Careful, turning too many times counterclockwise will unscrew the pump shaft from the piston. Position your right hand as shown, with your thumb over the hole in the end of the pump head and your first 2 fingers under the head. Pull the pump hand gently out almost to its full potential. Make sure that your thumb prevents air from escaping the hole on the end of the pump handle, and press the pump head carefully into the tank. You do not want to bang into the stops at either end of the pump head's travel, but you want to get as close to them as possible. You should feel resistance with each stroke. Each stroke should be a little harder to press than the last. If no resistance is felt on the downstroke, there could be several issues. A possible issue is that your thumb is not properly positioned to keep air escaping the hole at the end of the pump shaft, which is a very common problem. The second possible issue is that the pump seal is dry and it needs oil. Check the section on oiling the pump arm to find out how to do it. There's a one-way valve at the bottom of the pump shaft inside the tank that could be faulty. It requires a special Coleman tool as well as the replacement part. Many old-time camping and hardware stores have the special tool and often the replacement parts. As big chain stores displace those old-time camping stores, you'll, however, need to start working with Coleman directly or its authorized dealers. Problem number 6, first aid. If someone has contact with fuel. If someone accidentally gets Coleman liquid fuel on them, immediately have them remove themselves from any ignition source. If you can smell gasoline, you can ignite it. It may be a simple matter of using a paper towel and wiping the spill off skin and disposing of the towel safely. It might require changing clothes, taking a shower, and taking special care of those soiled clothes. Ask an adult for help and advice. Getting fuel in one's eyes is very unlikely, but if it does happen, flood the eyes with water and seek medical attention. Do not take the suggestion that those who fill the stove should not be the ones to light it lightly. The correct response is to stop, drop, and roll to smother the flames. If it is serious,